Hello everyone, and welcome back to Bilal Consultancy. Today we have an exciting topic to discuss: the arrow diagram quality tool. If you're looking to improve your project management and streamline processes, you're in the right place. So, let's dive right in. What is an arrow diagram? An arrow diagram, also known as an arrow diagramming method, admiral, or an activity on arrow network, is a graphical representation used in project management to display the sequencing and interdependencies of activities within a project. It's a type of network diagram that helps project managers plan and schedule activities to ensure a smooth flow of work and project completion within the stipulated time. History of arrow diagram. The arrow diagram method, ADM, also known as the arrow diagramming method, is a project management tool used for scheduling and sequencing activities within a project. Its history can be traced back to the mid-20th century, when it emerged as a key technique in the field of project management. Here's a detailed explanation of the history and development of the arrow diagram method as a quality tool. Origin and development. The arrow diagram method was developed as part of the Program Evaluation and Review Technique, PERT, during the late 1950s by the United States Navy in collaboration with the consulting firm Booz Allen Hamilton and the Lockheed Corporation. The main objective was to manage the development of the Polaris missile project, a critical defense initiative of the Cold War era. The methodology aimed to handle the uncertainty and complexity associated with large-scale projects. PERT used probabilistic time estimates for activities, and the arrow diagram method was a key visualization tool used within the PERT framework. Polaris Missile Project. The Polaris Missile Project was a massive undertaking aimed at creating a fleet of submarine-launched ballistic missiles. Given the complexity and uncertainty of the project, the traditional project management tools were inadequate. This led to the development and integration of PERT, with the arrow diagram method playing a significant role in project scheduling. Pioneering work. The pioneering work on PERT and the arrow diagram method was primarily led by the Operations Evaluation Group, OEG, of the U.S. Navy. Mathematicians and operations research specialists were instrumental in developing the methodologies, including individuals like Dr. Malcolm O. Davis, Dr. James Kelly, and Dr. Morgan Walker, among others. Widespread adoption. Following its successful implementation in the Polaris missile project, the PERT and arrow diagram method gained recognition and began to be adopted in various industries beyond defense, including construction, manufacturing, engineering, and other large-scale projects. Further refinement and modern usage. Over the years, the arrow diagram method has been refined and integrated into modern project management methodologies, becoming a standard tool in project scheduling. It has evolved alongside advancements in project management software and techniques, providing project managers with more sophisticated tools for effective planning, scheduling, and resource management. Integration with Critical Path Method, CPM. The Critical Path Method, CPM, another popular project management technique, also involves creating network diagrams. The arrow diagram method and CPM are often used interchangeably, though they have slight differences in notation and how they handle activity sequencing. In conclusion, the arrow diagram method has its roots in the development of PERT during the mid-20th century, particularly in response to the challenging requirements of the Polaris missile project. Over time, it has become a fundamental tool in project management, aiding in scheduling and sequencing activities for a wide range of projects. Its legacy continues to evolve and influence modern project management methodologies, ensuring efficient project execution and successful completion. Components. The arrow diagram method, ADM, also known as the arrow diagramming method, is a project management tool used to represent the sequence and interdependencies of activities within a project. It is an essential part of network analysis and critical path methodology. Let's delve into the components of this tool in detail. Nodes or event. Nodes represent significant points in time during the project, such as the start or completion of an activity, a milestone, or a decision point. Nodes are depicted as circles or boxes in the diagram. Each node is assigned a unique identifier and represents a specific event in the project. Arrows or activities. Arrows represent the activities or tasks that need to be completed as part of the project. An arrow connects two nodes or events and represents the direction in which the work flows. The arrow signifies the sequence in which the activities need to be carried out. The length of the arrow can represent the duration of the activity. Duration estimates. Each arrow is associated with a duration estimate, indicating the time required to complete the respective activity. Duration estimates are typically in terms of days, weeks, or other time units depending on the project's scope and scale. These estimates help in scheduling and resource allocation. Dependencies. Dependencies are relationships between activities, defining the order in which they must be performed. There are various types of dependencies, such as finish to start, FS. Activity B cannot start until activity A is finished. Start to start, SS. Activity B can start when activity A starts. Finish to finish, FF. Activity B must finish when activity A finishes. Start to finish, SF. Activity B must start when activity A finishes. Understanding dependencies is crucial for project scheduling and critical path determination. Dummy activities. In complex projects, there may be cases where two or more activities start or end at the same event. Dummy activities are fictitious or notional activities used to properly depict the sequence and relationships between these activities in the arrow diagram. They help maintain the correct flow and dependencies within the diagram. Critical path. The critical path is the longest path through the network diagram, indicating the shortest time in which the project can be completed. Activities on the critical path have zero slack or float, meaning any delay in these activities will cause a delay in the project. Float or slack. Float or slack is the amount of time a task can be delayed without delaying the project completion date. Total float is the amount of time an activity can be delayed without delaying the project's completion. Free float is the amount of time an activity can be delayed without delaying the early start of any succeeding activity. Understanding and utilizing these components effectively in an arrow diagram helps project managers visualize, plan, and manage the project's activities, ensuring a smooth flow and timely completion of the project. How to develop it step by step. Developing an arrow diagram method, Admiral, involves creating a graphical representation of a project's activities and their interdependencies. It's a fundamental tool for project scheduling and sequencing. Here's a step-by-step guide to developing an arrow diagram. Identify project activities. Begin by identifying all the activities required to complete the project. These activities should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. SMART. Determine activity sequencing. Establish the order in which these activities need to be performed. Identify the logical dependencies between activities. What activity must be completed before another can start? Create nodes for events, activities. Draw nodes to represent events or activities in the project. Each node should be labeled with the activity or event it represents. Connect nodes with arrows. Connect the nodes using arrows to represent the flow and sequence of activities. The arrows indicate the order in which activities need to be carried out. Assign duration estimates to arrows. Estimate the duration for each activity and assign these estimates to the respective arrows. The length of the arrow can represent the estimated duration of the activity. Incorporate dependencies. Indicate the dependencies between activities by showing the direction of the arrows. Understand whether an activity is dependent on the completion of another activity, e.g., finish to start, etc. Account for dummy activities. If you have multiple activities starting or ending at the same event, use dummy activities to properly depict the sequence and dependencies. Insert these dummy activities in the arrow diagram. Identify the critical path. Determine the critical path, which is the longest path through the network diagram. Activities on the critical path have zero slack, meaning any delay in these activities will delay the project's completion. Calculate float, slack. Calculate the float or slack for each non-critical activity. Float represents the amount of time an activity can be delayed without delaying the project's completion date. Review and revise. Review the arrow diagram to ensure accuracy and correctness. Make any necessary adjustments, considering feedback and insights from stakeholders and project team members. Update and maintain the diagram. As the project progresses, update the arrow diagram to reflect the actual completion times of activities. Regularly review and maintain the diagram to ensure it remains an accurate representation of the project's progress. By following these steps, you'll create a comprehensive arrow diagram that effectively illustrates the project's workflow, dependencies, and critical path, aiding in project scheduling and management. Tips and benefits. Using the arrow diagram method, Admiral, in project management can greatly enhance your ability to plan, schedule, and manage projects effectively. Here are some tips and benefits to make the most out of utilizing Admiral. Tips. Understand dependencies thoroughly. Ensure a clear understanding of the dependencies between activities. Properly identifying these relationships is crucial for accurate sequencing. Accurate duration estimates. Provide realistic duration estimates for each activity. Overestimating or underestimating can lead to inaccurate project timelines. Simplify the diagram. Keep the diagram simple and easy to interpret. Too much complexity can hinder understanding and usability. Regularly update and review. Regularly update the diagram as the project progresses, adjusting duration estimates and sequencing based on actual progress. Regular reviews will help keep it accurate and valuable. Collaboration and communication. Involve the project team in the development of the diagram. Encourage collaboration to gather diverse perspectives and ensure a comprehensive view of activities and dependencies. Use specialized software. Consider using project management software that supports arrow diagramming. These tools often provide features to easily create, edit, and visualize arrow diagrams. Benefits. Visual representation. ADM provides a clear visual representation of the project's workflow, making it easier for all stakeholders to understand the project structure. Sequencing and dependencies. ADM helps in accurately sequencing activities and understanding dependencies between them, ensuring a smooth flow of work. Critical path identification. It allows for the identification of the critical path, helping project managers prioritize critical activities that could potentially delay the project if not managed properly. Efficient resource allocation. By understanding the timing and flow of activities, project managers can allocate resources more efficiently, optimizing workforce and budget. Improved scheduling. ADM aids in creating a realistic and achievable project schedule by providing a clear representation of the sequence of activities. Risk management. Understanding dependencies allows for better risk management. It helps in identifying potential risks associated with delays in certain activities. Streamlined project communication. The visual nature of the arrow diagram facilitates effective communication among project team members and stakeholders, ensuring everyone is on the same page regarding project progress and expectations. Conclusion. And there you have it. The Arrow Diagram Quality Tool is an invaluable resource for project managers seeking to enhance their project management processes. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more informative content. Thank you for tuning in to Bilal Consultancy. Until next time, keep improving and streamlining your projects for success. Take care.